So welcome. Today's webinar is brought to you by National Garden Bureau. I'm Diane Blazek, the Executive Director, and our topic is a very exciting one. It is called New Varieties for 2024. And this is very exciting for us to share with you. What I wanted to do is show you a little bit about our organization, our website. This is a great way for you to find more details about our new varieties. We're going to put the link in the chat so that everybody can see the link, and feel free to use that chat. Feel free to use the Q&A function. What I have put on each slide is kind of the bare minimum about each variety. The reason for that is we have 180 varieties, I believe, to present to you today in an hour. So I can't promise I will get it done in less than 60 minutes. We may go over just a tad. But there again, I do want to just highlight these, and you can always go to our website. Gail has put the link in our chat. That's ngb.org new plants. This is what our website looks like, and it's this tab up here for new plants. By the way, these are the 2024 new plants. You can also go back and look at a couple previous years' new plants. When you get to that page, this is what it looks like. So you can sort by year, or you can sort by plant category or specific common names. So with that, I think we will just get rolling. I love how everybody is posting where they're from. That is great. We can be jealous of everybody who is already planting. But with that, let's get started on these. Like I said, we have about 180. I didn't count them exactly. That's an approximate, but about 180 new varieties. And I am going to try to keep track of those questions, and you can put them in the Q&A or the chat. I'll look at both of them, and then I'll definitely try to get to some of them at the end if possible. So with that, let's go on, because this first slide, we have two of them on here, and I thought I would just let you know that in some instances, we have more than one variety per class. So I tried to combine them on the slides like this. So this is two Abelia we have. So the one on the left is zone 7 through 9 hardy. The one on the right is to zone 6. And what I love about both these are those variegated leaves, and both of them have a nice blush pink variegation to the leaves. And then next up, we have an Arctotis. This is called African Daisy Magic. And it is a new series with several colors available. They're pretty compact, under 12 inches. They are hardy to zone 6A. If you're in a colder zone than that, use them as an annual. They're beautiful. They have nice iridescent flowers on them. And next we have Agapanthus Blackjack. Please note this logo I have on here, the Green Thumb Award. This is something that National Garden Bureau offers to recognize and promote new varieties and new products. This is varieties today about plants, so the products are separate. But this recognizes innovation in some of this new breeding and new products that we have. So this Blackjack did win the Green Thumb Award for 2024, one of our winners. You're going to see several in today's presentation. I think you can kind of tell why it won because of those beautiful dark purple flowers. And it also won the Royal Horticultural Society 2023 Plant of the Year. So that's Agapanthus Blackjack. And then next up, we have two different alocasias. One is Jacqueline, and one is called Silver Velvet. That Silver Velvet, you can see the silver coloration on the leaves. And then Jacqueline has a totally different leaf shape, so a different type of alocasia. Both of them fantastic indoor plants, get about the same size, 3 to 4 feet tall. And then next up, we have Ammobium grandiflorum. Very good for cut flowers, not extremely tall, so they won't be lodging and breaking over, only 12 to 18 inches tall. But you can see that it has low water needs, so it'd be very good for a drought-tolerant garden. And then we have 2 Angelonia, and now I'm going to point out another little logo that I put on this slide. It's the Year of the Angelonia. So with National Garden Bureau, we have our Year of program where we pick an annual, a perennial, a flowering shrub, a houseplant, an edible, and a bulb crop. So this happens to be our annual for 2024. So we had 2 breeders that submitted some of their new Angelonia. One of them is Ruby Sangria. That's that dark red maroon one on one side. And then we have Big Cherry Alonia series is the one on your right, which is a nice bright pink. And then after that, we have an Arborvitae. And so this one's called Private Jet. And I just love the name of this. Private Jet means it grows fast. It goes as fast as a jet. So this one will grow more than 6 feet tall, and it is hardy to zone 3. So that's wonderful news for those of us in the north. Here's an Armeria called Dreameria, Vivid Dreams. Very good for heat tolerance. You can grow it in ground or containers, hardy zone 5A to 9A, and it is pretty compact, under 12 inches tall. And then this one's got a great name. It's an asparagus fern, and it's called Fuzzy Frizz. So fun little name. I've seen that with sunglasses and googly eyes at some industry events. So that's really cool. It's 24 to 36 inches tall, and it is grown from seed, but it is used as an annual. And next up, we have Artemisia called Silver Lining, another fairly compact one, 12 to 18 inches. It is hardy in zones 4 through 9, just showy silver foliage from spring to fall. Then we have this Aspidistra, I almost got my tongue tied on that one, called Tokyo Skies, also called the cast iron plant, which I love my cast iron skillet. And so this one to me means it is just going to be hardy and sturdy and will put up with all kinds of weather variations. It will get 2 to 3 feet tall, hardy in zones 7 to 11, but I would use that as an annual or maybe as an indoor plant. And next up, we have 2 green beans. Well, I can't call those green beans, 2 beans. One is green, one is a yellow bean. So the first one is Blue Lake Superior, all the traditional flavor, but with improved characteristics like some disease resistance and yield. And then the other one is called Caspian. That's the yellow green bean. So they both are around 18 inches tall, so more of a bush bean. And now we have Beet Manilow. Thinking of Barry Manilow songs right now, aren't we? Even though it's not spelled the same. So this beet is very well adapted to a wide variety of growing conditions and has some disease resistance, as you'll see there. So a nice large size basic red beet we have. And we've got several begonias this year, so this is pretty exciting. Adora has that dark red velvety blooms on a dark leaf. And then Limitless, look at those double flowers on that one with those shades of salmon, very gorgeous. It's a bedding type, so it's under 12 inches. And then for our other types of begonias, now look, these are the flowerless begonias. One is called Lunar Lights, dark side of the moon. So that dark leaf foliage, not really blooms that you want. You're growing this one for the foliage. And the other one, Tectonic Caldera. That's another one that you are growing for the foliage. It can get huge. It can get 5 to 6 feet tall. And of course, if you're putting it in containers, kind of like a goldfish, it'll stay smaller. So that Tectonic is hardy zones 8 to 11. And then the other one is hardy in zones 7 through 9. So great to be used as annuals. Use them for the foliage. It's all some wonderful new begonias that we have here. And then there's a couple other ones. This Hula red and white mix is a traditional begonia, nice trailing variety. This one comes in red and white. It is grown from seed. And then take a look at these. These are our large begonias. It's kind of reflective by the name. So we've got Stonehenge, not Stonehenge, Stonehenge, but you can tell why it was named that. It definitely creates that hedge. So it has the rose-colored blooms on dark foliage, and yes, it can get up to 48 inches tall. And then we've got the whopper begonias, and these are slightly smaller, 24 to 36 inches, so like 12 to 24 inches shorter than the Stonehenge. It is another one grown from seed, and the Whopper series has a number of colors, but this white one on the green leaf foliage is the newest color in that series. And then we have some more begonias. It must be a very good year for begonias. If you're familiar with the dragon wing, they have two new colors in this series. They have red on the bronze leaf, and then we have the pink on the bronze leaf. So two new colors there in the dragon wing series. And moving on, now we're going to a shrub and boxwood. I'm sure you've heard of boxwood blight. So this Better Boxwood series, there's 4 different varieties, meaning 4 different shapes and heights. And it has been bred to be blight resistant. So yay, we can put boxwood in again. This one will get over 6 feet tall. Like I said, there's 3 other varieties. I don't have the specifics there, but if you just go to Better Boxwood, you can get a lot of good information. Hardy to zone 5. And now we have this Brachyantha granvia. It's called Crimson Sun. I think this is a perfect name for it because it has that crimson ring with a nice sun-colored center, and it looks like a sunset right there. And don't look at the sunset directly, but you can look at this flower. 18 to 24 inches, and of course this one is used as an annual. And we have 2 broccoli. Both of these are AAS winners. So the purple one is called Purple Magic, which is a nice name for that one. That is a national winner. And then the other one is a stem broccoli called Sky Tree. And why is it called Sky Tree? Because this one grows upright with very easy to harvest long stems. And what our judges really liked about this one was how tender the stems were. So they had a lot of flavor and didn't get that woodiness. So those are our broccolis for this year. And we have 2 Buddleias. We actually might have more than 2. We got 2 Buddleias because it's the year of the Buddleia. If you want to know more about it and all the new varieties they're bringing about, sign up for our Buddleia webinar that's coming soon. The 2 newest ones that are in this presentation is Birthday Cake. Why is it called Birthday Cake? Because it looks like candles on a cake. So that one is 5 to 6 feet tall. And then on the other end of the spectrum is we have a container hanging basket Buddleia called Baby Buzz. This one is in candy pink. So that one's only going to get 18 to 24 inches tall and round. Both of them are hardy to zone 5. And look at our little logo down there. The Buddleia is our flowering shrub for this year. So we have our whole series of Buddleia on our website if you want to know more about those. Then we're going on to a cabbage. If you didn't notice, I'm doing this alphabetically, so I'm not doing it in groups. And you guys can let me know if you like alphabetically or if you want it grouped by annuals, perennials, edibles, etc. I will take your advice, and next year we can make some changes. So this is Cabbage Conqueror. And what's really nice about this one is it's early to mature, but it has a nice long holding window, so it won't split open if you are traveling and can't get out to harvest it right away. So Cabbage Conqueror will make you a more successful gardener because it won't be splitting open. Now look at this chrysanthemum. It's called Mammoth Yellow. Very large flowers, and it has those quill type petals. So it looks very delicate, yet it still gives this huge splash of color, and it is hardy in zones 3 through 9. And now we have 2 Calibrachoas. One is Colibri Spark Purple, so spark for that little sunburst pattern of yellow in the middle. And then we've got TikTok Apricot, which should be on TikTok all the time, right? And it is a nice, vibrant, colored flower, lighter on the petals and darker toward the throat. And then it does have the yellow throat also. So both of those around 12 to 18 inches tall. They make great things for container, monoculture combination containers. Put them in hanging baskets, window boxes. Calibrachoas are great for that. Okay, so now we have a campanula called Purple Fountain. its common name is bellflower, but as you can imagine, it is covered with these lavender flowers and just kind of spills over the edge if you have it in a container. It is hardy zones 4 through 9. And now 2 cannas. If you have never grown canna from seed, please give it a try. These are available from a lot of online seed retailers. Not sure about how many seed packets you'll find it in, like on racks, but give it a research and try to find these. The seeds are large. They've already done the work of nicking and drilling little holes in there so the oxygen or the air and water can get in to germinate it. They are very easy to germinate. Your kids will love planting with these because they're probably as big as their little finger. So here's 2 of the new colors. The South Pacific, we have an orange and a scarlet that are AAS winners. These are not AAS winners, but they're in the same series. So give it a try. It adds a nice tropical look to your garden, white or yellow. And now here's another green thumb winner. This one's called Chartreuse on the Loose, and it is a catmint. The nicest thing about this one, I think, is that chartreusey foliage with the nice purple flowers. It gives a lot of contrast, and the wide zone variety, 3 through 8. So it makes a nice compact, almost a ground cover if you planted very many of these together. So catmint, chartreuse on the loose. And now we have some celosia. We have one that's an AAS winner. That one is on your right, Celosia Burning Embers. What's really nice about this is that darker burgundy colored foliage, and then it has the pink vein that really matches the pink plumes on it. So that's a national winner. And then the other celosia, this is a new series, Arabona, and it has a really bronze leaf with bright red plumes. So 2 celosias, 2 annuals for your garden. And then we have 2 different centaureas. So silver swirl, no flowers on it. This one is grown for the foliage. It kind of swirls in the middle as it's growing out and putting new leaves on. Great focal point. I've seen it as a border in the landscape. It was gorgeous, zone 6B to 9B. And then the other centaurea, this one won our Green Thumb Award also in the annual category. It's called the Bride. Those beautiful white frilly flowers could also work as cut flower, 24 to 36 inches tall. So 2 different centaureas this year. And then this one is interesting. Chautauqua, which is also called a desert orchid, is a hybrid of a desert willow and a catalpa. So isn't that fun? It's got some beautiful pink flowers, frilly. They look like little mini orchids. Hardy to zone 6. It will grow to 5 to 6 feet tall. So a nice landscape shrub. And then the Cineraria cinetti, this one's called Red Halo. I guess it's kind of self-explanatory. It's got that halo of white in there, 12 to 18 inches tall. And this, as you know, if you cut this back, it's going to flush out and give you another flush of flowers. So you'll get some long bloom time from this one. Then we have several Coleus. Personally, I love Coleus. And what's really cool now is there are Coleus for sun and shade. There are Coleus from seed, Coleus from cuttings. There's tall Coleus, there's short Coleus, there's cascading Coleus. So if you like Coleus like me, there's something for everybody. And look at the different variations here. The downtown Santa Monica is just frilly and has that stained glass look, lots of nice colors. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have a deep burgundy with the green margins on the leaves, which to me is just really simple and elegant. So you've got downtown Santa Monica and then Talavera. And then our next 2 Coleus is Solar Flare. Look at the edges, those ruffled scalloped edges on that, I think is so cool. And then our AAS winner is this Premium Sun Coral Candy. Coral colored, perfect name for it. It's a little bit more compact and it stays that size, and then it has those nice droopy leaves that just kind of fall over the side of the container. And I had it in sun last year and the coloration was great. It really didn't fade until the end of the summer. It was beautiful. And next up then, we're going to go back to a vegetable here. If you love collards, this is one for you called Top Chop. You can do spring or fall. It loves that cool season growing. You can cut and come again. So, you know, cut it when it's smaller or harvest the larger leaves and then they'll sprout back up throughout your growing season. Collared Top Chop. Now we have a Colocasia. I think these things are gaining in popularity. I'm seeing them more and more, and the variations are amazing. We had that Royal Hawaiian Waikiki last year as an AES winner, and this is from the same breeding out of the University of Hawaii. So this one, look at those dark leaves that just are so shiny, and then that nice rose-colored vein going down the middle. It's a beautiful zone 7 to 11. I use it as an annual. I bring mine in the winter. They've done amazing over the winter. So if you love that tropical look and the big elephant ears, try this Colocasia. Now, Cosmos Sulfur. I all love Cosmos, super easy, very good for direct sowing. 3 to 4 feet tall. It is an annual, very easy to grow, great color. I love how it has just a hint of white at the petal tips there toward the center. And some of our members put out mixes. You saw that Begonia hula that is a red and white mix. Now, this is something to make it very easy for you. If you do cover crops, maybe you'll want to consider something like this that is a nice mix. So all kinds of forage safe options to restore your soil nutrients. So do something for Mother Earth and plant a cover crop. And 2 cucumbers. And now these cucumbers are pretty much the opposite. You have Cassara, which is one of those Persian type Dutch long cucumbers, 12 inches or more in length on 5 to 6 foot vines. Great, lovely, delicious cucumbers. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have this baby little cucumber, only gets to about 2 feet tall. You can grow it indoors because, well, both of these are parthenocarpic actually, so you don't need the pollinators. But it's like 3 to 4 inch snacking cucumbers grown on short vines. Still trellis it. It'll look better and you'll be able to harvest them easier. Cucumber Quick Snack is also a Green Thumb Award winner, but I'm going to try both of these this year. You know, you've got the long ones and then you've got the little short ones, which would be great just for snacking. And next up, we've got a Kufia. This is called Sweet Talk. Great for pollinators. It is compact and it has a beautiful bicolor bloom. So love the name Sweet Talk. And a cyclamen. If you're a fan of cyclamen, here we are. We have a new series called Sweet Talk. Comes in lavender, red, white, and pink. So give that a whirl for your indoor winter, depending on where you're located. You can plant them outdoors like in Florida, and I'm so jealous. They do make great landscape plants also. A couple dahlias here, which by the way, we have a dahlia webinar coming up also. So you might want to go to our website and sign up for that. If you love dahlias, it's going to be amazing because we're going to talk about all different kinds of dahlias, whether it's grown from seed or cuttings or tubers and, you know, large or small or containers or in ground. So come back and watch that webinar. Let's hear the Labella Maggiore Fun Pomegranate, and look at the colors on that. It's just like a burst of deliciousness, maybe I can call it. And then salmon bicolor. So you've got the darker centers with the lighter outer petals. And then we've got this one, Sunset Tropicana Dahlia. And again, I love that. A good name. These people are genius when they're naming these. Tropicana has, again, that orange variations with the yellow center. This one's a little bit taller, so it would be great for cut flowers. So it's 2 to 3 feet tall. And now we have 2 Dianthus. Actually, we have more than 2. I think we have 4 this year. So it was a year for Dianthus. We have Capitan. So that has the novelty colors, dark burgundy on those pink blooms. And then we've got Sugar and Spice, which actually puts 3 colors all in one. So dark pink, light pink, and almost white. Definitely use these as annuals unless you're in zones 7 through 10. And then for these are both hardy to zone 5. We have Falling in Love Rosy, which is an iridescent rose color. And then the other one, Electric Dreams, is more of a bicolor flower. So lots of Dianthus for you to choose from. And here's a Didicus lace blue. This flower is just so nice and airy, and I do love that color. You know, we all say, oh, it's really hard to get blue, but boy, that almost comes blue. If you're critical, you can call it lavender, but I think that's getting pretty close to a nice blue. A taller one, great for dried flowers. So if you love to dry flowers from your garden, try this one. Now we have a house plant, a Dieffenbachia. This one's called Crocodile. And I don't think you'll be able to tell on this slide, but the underside of these variegated leaves along that stem of the leaf has ruffles, has crests that kind of look like a crocodile. So that's really fun. This is one of those things, if people come over to visit and go, oh, what's this? You can have some nice little conversation like, oh, I've got an unusual houseplant. Look at this. It will grow large, put it in the right container, and it'll get to more than 6 feet tall. And now we have a couple Echinacea. Prairie Blaze, this is a new one that is a bicolor, so it has the pink and lime green flowers. And then Sunseeker Rainbow is also lime green, but it's more of a, I'm not going to call it a double, maybe a semi-double. And look at the edges of those petals. That's just really unique. And then it has that nice green center. Both of them are hardy to zone 4 and are 18 to 24 inches tall. And then this one is a double flowered watermelon called Double Scoop Deluxe Watermelon. Very bold colors. Let it go to seed, and you're going to attract the songbirds and the finches at the end of the season, which is also another nice attribute. Hardy zones 4A to 9B, so it's got a wide growing range. Now, this one's pretty unusual, and it won the Green Thumb Award because of its innovation. So an Echeveria Coral Reef Red. I'm envisioning somebody somewhere, maybe at a public garden or a conservatory or something, they would plant a bunch of these and then make it look like it's under the sea or something. But that's a real beauty. You can use it as a houseplant or use it outdoors. It is hardy to zone 6A. And then next up, we've got an Erysimum Irresistible, hardy to zone 5, nice shades, almost sunset shades on this, so 18 to 24 inches tall. This particular one is called Sunset, but it also comes in magenta and yellow. Then we have an Eryngium, and the common name here is sea holly. So another one, maybe they could put sea holly with that Echeveria. 2 to 3 feet tall, hardy in zones 4 to 9, and it has a really nice purple color. That would look awesome with the right combinations in your garden. And then we've got a Eucalyptus, heartleaf melee. It will grow into a small tree. So it says it'll grow up to 36 inches. If you pinch it back, then you're going to get a lot more branching for a bushier plant. And of course, you know, you bring it in, use it for the aroma, but you could also dry it and keep it on display all winter. Here's a fuchsia. These are so fun. There's a whole series of fuchsia from this breeding company, all named for ballet poses. I just put that little ballerina in there because I thought it kind of looked like it. So this particular one, I think this is arabesque. Sorry, I just put fuchsia ballerina. This is the arabesque, but there's 6 or 7 different colors here. Not all of them on our website, but if you just Google fuchsia ballerina, you'll be able to see all the different ones. Great for hanging baskets. Okay, we have another AAS winner. This is the Big EZ Geranium. Big EZ is known as a series that's known to be very easy to grow, very vigorous. What is different about this one and why it won the AAS award is that petal coloration. They're calling it pink batik, which, yeah, it looks like a batik piece of fabric. I also think a perfect name would be Freckles because it's got the dark pink freckles on the lighter pink blossoms. And then we have two gladiolas. One is called Seashore, which it has just amazing colorations, the pink and yellow colorations there. And then we also have a mix of gladiolas from another one of our members. So pretty much most of the colors on the rainbow come in that mix. The one on the left is taller at 3 to 4 feet, but the one on the right is 18 to 24 inches. Then we have a daily, Hemerocallis, and it's called See You Tomorrow. And of course, we know daylilies typically only bloom about a day. So this one, it has the ability to bloom for up to 5 days. So yay, we've got a daylily that's lasting longer than a day. Might have to change its name to 5-day lily. We've got one hibiscus, all eyes on me, meaning the hibiscus. Large 8-inch blooms with that bright pink center, which they're calling the eye, hardy up to zone or down to zone 4. And then we've got a hosta. Okay, it's the year of the hosta, and I was just telling somebody that I love hostas. So if you have some shady, in fact, if you might want to look at this week's blog on the National Garden Bureau website, is all about building a shade garden. So there's a lot of really good ideas from one of our members there. But this one's called Love Story because of the leaf shape is in the shape of a heart. Hardy zones 3 through 9. And then we do have quite a few hydrangeas for you. There are always new hydrangeas, which is wonderful. So we've got Eclipse. There has been a lot of publicity about this one, the beautiful dark green leaves and vibrant colored flowers. So that is Eclipse. That also won our Green Thumb Award. And then to move on through our other hydrangeas, these are both Macrophylla. So we've got Gin and Tonic. Cute name. To me, it looks like a summery drink with a slice of lime in there. So let's see here. Yeah, they're both hardy zones down to zones 5. And then we've got Let's Dance Lovable. Dark glossy foliage turns burgundy in the fall, so that'll be beautiful. And then Seaside Serenade Kitty Hawk. If you look closely, each one of those petals on each bloom is star-shaped. So they emerge green and then they transition to this soft pink. So that'll give you a nice cottage look in your garden. More hydrangeas, Pinky Winky Prime. It's a bit bigger than Pinky Winky. It's sister, brother, whatever you want to call it. And then we also have Sweet Starlight, just those sweet ombre colored blooms. So you can tell on both of these. This one has the brighter pink that kind of, I'm not going to say fades because it's not fading. It just has the lighter color blossoms at the tip. And then the same way here, but it's a softer pink. So it's wonderful with hydrangeas. There's something for everybody, right? And then these two, this Hydrangea High, it's a whole series, HI. This one's called Crystal. Pure white. This is more of a florist type hydrangea, so it's hardy in zones 9 to 11. So this is not your garden hydrangea. Treat it as an annual, treat it as an indoor plant. I just love how crystal clear white it is with the dark foliage. And then you've got a reblooming mountain hydrangea, and this one is called Tough Stuff Top Fun. Okay, now we've got a Japanese holly, an ilex called Red Sky. And why is it called red? Because as the new growth emerge on the tips, it has a little bit of a reddish tint. So a very upright growing holly, hardy zone 6 to 9. Now we're going to get into some impatiens. And, you know, if we'd been doing this presentation 5 years ago, we wouldn't have had many impatiens because of the impatiens downy mildew. So we now have impatiens that are resistant to that. So yay, now we have color for our shade gardens again. These two are both from the Beacon series. So we've got a mix called Pearl Island. Beautiful shades, look kind of like island colors. And then we've got this Beacon Lipstick, very bright colored. So if you're thinking shade and you want some bright color in there, that's a good one. So these are from the same series. They're both about 12 to 18 inches tall. And then we have Sun Patience. These have been around forever. They continuously come out with additional colors, height, shapes, foliage colors. So this particular one is compact red candy. So it has that little striped, kind of looking like a candy cane. And then this one is a new AS winner, and it's from a new series called Solarscape. So these two have wonderful disease resistance. This is called XL for the flower size. Pink Jewel, it has that iridescent pinkish color, the bloom color. And then we have a lantana. We only have one lantana this year. Some years there's a lot more than others. This is called it's called passion fruit. It has a good variation of shades there, kind of salmony, orange, and pink. And butterfly magnet. They love coming to lantanas. And now we're going to lavender, which we have two different types of lavender. We have Lovely Sky, which is from seed, and it blooms the first season. And then we have Exceptional with the white blooms over here on the right. Very prolific bloomer all season long. The Lovely Sky is the shorter one, 12 to 18 inches, and then Exceptional is a taller one, growing up to 3 feet tall. But both are hardy zones 5 through 8. Now this Leucotho is called Lucky Lou. Very good native shrub, and it has that peachy colored new growth on it. Not overly large, grows to about 4 feet tall, zones 6 through 9. And then here's our lilies. Oh, I forgot our logo here. It's 2024 is the year of the lily. That's our bulb crop. How did I miss that logo? But this is a nice mix called the Liber collection. Specifically, this is the Love variety. This is called Skymaster. This is called Edge, and this is called Touch. So these lilies are hardy in zones 3 through 8. And then we've got Mandevillas. We have 2 of them. One is the Sun Parasol series, Giant Peach Sunrise. We saw this one. In fact, this picture is probably taken last year at the California Spring Trials when we visited out there. That one basically became viral on our social media. Ooh, a ton of shares because people were really impressed with a peach colored Mandevilla. And then we also have Mandina Petite. So this one is very short, designed to go in your containers. So those are our 2 Mandevillas. We've got one Marigold. This is an AAS winner. It's called Siam Gold. Every time I talk about this one, I feel like it reminds me of those big mums we used to wear as corsages for homecomings because they're very large golden flowers, nice bulb shape. And as far as in the garden, it's a nice medium height, 18 to 24 inches with very strong stems. Use it as cut flower also. And then we've got this Myosotis Bellamy, forget me not, and it obviously is very low to the ground, 12 inches, full clusters of petite little blue blooms that have that white eye in the center. And this is a Nemesia called Essential Collection. There are 4 colors here. I won't try to point them out because you probably can't even see, but elderberry cream, snowberry, sunberry, and zazzleberry. So these are an annual for most of us. They're low growing, as you can see, great for containers. That makes a really good monoculture container. I like the look of those. And then we've got an ornamental pepper onyx orange. Onyx red was an AAS winner a couple years ago. So it's a very similar garden performer, except instead of red berries, it eventually turns to orange berries. So that one's fun. Very good to go along with this goth gardening trend and great for your fall garden to decorate for Halloween. This osmanthus is called Misty River. It's also called a fragrant olive or a sweet olive, 8 to 12 feet tall. So this is a little bit larger on the shrub side, hardy in zones 7 through 10, but it does have the nice variegated leaves. And this too has some new growth that comes out as kind of a rosy colored. And then we've got an Osteospermum ballade mix or ballad mix. Daisy-like flowers with some nice color variations. The bright pink all the way to a soft pink. Hardy for those of you in zones 9 to 11. Again, I would be using it as an annual. And then pansies, it is getting closer to spring. So we have one pansy in here. These are the Delta Pro. They come in a large number of colors, 16 colors and 6 different mixes. So if you're looking for some pansies, look for the Delta Pro series. And here's one that's fun, another vegetable you can grow indoors. It's called Peas and Pod Bernard. And so it's a shelling pea. So as you can see, you can just clip them off right in your kitchen. Those Abelia vines kind of act like a Velcro, so they're not going to be flopping over. They'll just kind of attach to each other. So you'll have a nice compact looking plant. And it is compact. It only grows to 18 inches. Here's a pinnacetum called water to wine. Why is it called water to wine? Because of the color variations on the stems and the blooms. You can get, what did they say? I think you can get 3 or 4 different colors in, growing from spring to fall. It's only 36 inches tall, so it's not going to take over or be too obtrusive. Now we're going to get into some peppers. We keep flipping back and forth between ornamentals and edibles and perennials. This chack is a nice hot one, but it is early to mature and high yielding. And you'll notice that with a lot of the peppers we're talking about now, more yield earlier, especially for those of us in shorter growing seasons. We don't have a growing season like you might have in Arizona. So we need hot peppers to mature earlier. So we've got chack here, which is the hot one. And then we've got a poblano, not near as hot, called Sargento. And so you can, well, it's kind of hard to see, but they are an extra large poblano pepper. And then the opposite of large is small, right? So we have sweet prism, and this is a picture of it in my yard last year. And I got so many peppers off of one plant. I mean, if you look at that, there's what, like 8 peppers, almost, this red one's ready. But yeah, it was very, very high yielding. And I think that's a 12-inch container. And I also had some basil in there. So it was very productive in containers. And then we've got this Cambuchi, which is like a bishop's hat, but it is a new variety of bishop's hat type pepper. These are the ones that are, instead of Capsicum annum, it's Capsicum bacatum. So it's a South American type pepper. Fun ways to cook with them, stuff them with cheese, etc. And a couple more peppers. Here's a Ponky Sweet Caroline. Both of these are bred to be more compact, and you can grow them in containers. You can always grow them in ground also, especially the Spicy Jane Yellow is a little bit taller. It's closer to 24 inches. The other one's closer to 15 inches. But look at the yield on these, all from being grown in a container. So that's wonderful. If you have a small garden, if you're only gardening on your balcony or patio, look for some of these newer varieties that can really produce in containers. And then we have an AS winner that is a sweet pepper. This is a Lamayo type pepper, and historically Lamayos are especially harder to grow, but even overall sweet peppers are harder to grow than hot peppers. So this one has very large fruits, like 6 to 7 inches, and very thick walls, great flavor, very sweet. So try this one if you're wanting to grow a large volume of sweet peppers. Here's an herb at Perilla called Shisho Oba. And this one, 24 to 36 inches, takes a little bit of room. But if you're a culinary gardener, if you're gardening just to get fresh produce, you will want to try this, especially if you're loving to experiment with maybe a Japanese style cuisine, is try this one. It's also known as beefsteak leaf, which I had never heard of before, but going to try that one this year in some cooking. And we have several petcoas here. So petcoas traditionally were vegetatively propagated, and now there is a seed variety. So here in Viva Pink, that is an AS winner, and it is vegetatively propagated. But it's a beautiful pink with a nice yellow throat. And then this petcoa Caliburst yellow, that one can grow from seed. So we've got a whole new series of petcoa you can grow from seed. And then as far as some other petunias, we have quite a few. Petunias are probably one of the top selling bedding plants. So right here we have the Super Cow. which is a whole series, very popular series of petunias. This one's called Red Maple. It truly looks like a red maple tree in the fall. So beautiful, kind of an iridescent orangey red. And then over here, Sure Shot Petunia. This too is an AS winner. That's sorry, I'm missing the logo here. But this one won for its really nice clear white flowers. Perfect in containers. You can see that it would just fill up the container there. So Sure Shot White, very weather durable. And then look at this petunia over here, Amazonas Plum Cockatoo. It has those frilly flowers that are just flaunting their stuff, aren't they? The purple throat on there, that one is a Green Thumb winner for its innovation and its uniqueness. It's very cool. And then here we go. We have a tiny little flowered petunia called Itsy Pink. So this one will just cover the plant with these tiny little flowers. So small but mighty is what they call it. And then here are some petunias. This one comes in combinations. You'll be able to find this at your retailer. The confetti means these combos, and it's called Endurable Rose. So the colors in here are from the Durabloom series, which is over here. So these colors are royal pink, silver, electric, whoops, it's covering here, and silver and electric lilac. Sorry about that. And then in the Durabloom series, they have a new white. So you can see this one has just a little bit more of a yellow throat than the other one. So there's something for everybody. If you want pure white or if you want white with a yellow throat, there's something out there for you. And then this one just looks delicious. It's called Sweet Taffy Mix, and this is part of the Easy Wave series. You're familiar with the wave petunias, and there's several different categories of wave petunias. So this mix puts the pink and yellow together, pink cosmos, yellow, and rose morn. So there's actually three. The rose morn is the one with this throat here. So it's nice that they have one pink, one yellow, and one pink with yellow throat. Makes a good combination. Look at the taffy there. And then this one is a supertunia called Hoopla Vivid Orchid. So it has the orchid colored blooms with the white margins. That is just a unique one that I think the colors will really pop in your garden, and maybe put it, in some different combinations where you're wanting to pull that orchid color out. That's a nice beauty. Then we have Surfinia. So again, the Surfinia is another wonderful series on the market. It's called Patio Party Pink. Means you got to plant it on your patio, right? And then you have to have a party around it. But look at that star pattern in there. They call it a star-kissed center. It just has a nice whimsical look to me. So that's cool. And then you're probably familiar with the Sky series. This is Sweet Sunshine Magenta. And so this is the first sky petunia that has a double flower. So you see the outer petals and then this inner petal. So Sweet Sunshine Magenta Sky. And then we have, I think these might be our last two petunias. As you can tell, we always get a lot of petunias. Opera Supreme Pink is a real, it's bright but yet soft on this pink. And then Trilogy is, they have a rose and a cherry morn. So these are both trailing petunias. So if you're looking for a petunia to do a lot of coverage, you can try this petunia Opera Supreme Pink or the Trilogy. Okay, now we're going to some philodendrons. So we're going indoors for some indoor plants, and good names again, Golden Crocodile because of that leaf. It kind of looks like some crocodile teeth to me. And then Ring of Fire. So this one just has these splotches of cream on the leaves. The one here on the left is 2 to 3 feet, and then the one on the right, the Ring of Fire, is slightly larger at 3 to 4 feet. So there you go, philodendron, Golden Crocodile, and Ring of Fire. And then another philodendron, and don't let the looks deceive you. You're looking at this, it looks like a small container. It can grow over 6 feet tall. So again, you're probably going to have to keep repotting this one as it grows. So Philodendron tortum. Okay, so now we have two phlox. Blue ribbons is this bright variegated foliage with the soft blue flowers right on top, very good for pollinators. And then we've got prismatic pink, which is powdery mildew resistant. Yay! I'm always looking for the new varieties that have that resistance to them. And they've got the bubblegum colored flowers on their stems. Then we've got a Physocarpus. This is from the first editions line. It's called Honeycomb for that coloration. 5 to 6 feet tall, a nice landscape shrub, hardy in zones 3 through 7. And pineberry. So this is not a strawberry, it is a pineberry. It grows like ever-bearing strawberries, but it kind of has a pineapple-y taste. I have not tried it. I want to try growing this. It sounds delicious. And okay, let's throw in a poinsettia here just to be a little different. I mean, I know Christmas was 2 months ago, but let's start thinking again. A lot of the breeding work has to do with leaf colorations. So here we have sparkling rouge. So it's a rouge color that has this nice pink veining, splotching, vining. But it's a very interesting poinsettia. I think this will be another one. You have people over for a holiday party and they're like, oh, what's that? What happened? Did you spill bleach on it? No, that's the way it came. It's a brand new variety. It's called Sparkling Rouge. So I love those cocktail party conversations about plants. You can tell you never want to come to a cocktail party with me. It would get pretty boring. Here's a poppy, Moroccan orange. Huge blooms, can get almost 6 inches across, and it is hardy in zones 6 through 10. And going back indoors for a pothos, this is called albo, very popular house plant. And as the leaves age, they develop these cuts, and I'm not saying these on this particular plant is not old enough, almost looks like a monstera. So wouldn't that be fun? And they will get up to 6 or even over 6 feet tall. Then we're going back outside with a privet, and this is the first ever non-invasive privet. So if you read our blog that we did about a month ago, we were talking about how some of the new breeding work is they're making sure that they can get some of these invasive species off the invasive species if they're doing the right breeding. And this is a very good example of that, as are some of the Buddleia I mentioned earlier. So this one, hardy to zone 7, so definitely more of a southern crop. And then we've got Fireball Pumpkin. So slightly warted, which I had to look close at the picture. It almost, you can't tell that there are warts there, but if you look real close, it's the orange dots are the warts on this one. So a kind of an intermediate size pumpkin, only spreads 36 inches, so it'd be good for people with a smaller garden. And if you're growing your pumpkins for decoration, this would be wonderful. And look at the dark green handles. So that's something kind of different than just kind of boring brown pumpkin handles. Next up, we have several roses here. We have 2 from the Knockout series. One is called Easy Beezy, which I love that name, and it's got those varying shades of yellow flowers on it. And then this other one is Orange Glow. So this one over here on this side is hardy from zones 4 to 11, and this one is hardy in zones 5 to 11. And then we have 2 other roses. Well, actually, I have more than 2. Eau de Parfum is Berry Rose, and a couple years ago, one from this series won our Green Thumb Award. I don't think this one was entered this year, but this is called Berry Rose, so very nice and fragrant based on that name, wouldn't you think? And then Itsy Bitsy, so this one is a miniature rose, and it comes in these shades of apricot. And it's a smaller plant, obviously. And then we got Flavorette, and this one is edible. So here we go. If you want to try eating your rose petals, which I know is very doable, and I need to try it someday. So you've got this beautiful honey apricot colored that you can grow, and assuming you're not spraying it, then you can harvest it and eat the petals. Over here, this is called Sunblaze Sweet Mini. It will only grow 15 to 18 inches tall and hardy to zone 5. So be very cute in the garden. Get your kids to help you grow that one, and there's one for them that's that size. Now we're back to culinary gardening. Sage Celebration. This one is hardy to zone 4. It's not going to get overly tall, but look at those leaves. So, even if you're not wanting to cook with it, which has got a wonderful flavor, but then you could also use it as decoration on your plates. It would be beautiful. Hopefully you would have that available for Thanksgiving, put around your turkey. To me, sage just says Thanksgiving. And then we've got a salvia, one salvia. This is the Vibe Ignition Sunrise. So it's the first bicolor salvia from this series, which is the Vibe series. Salvias are always great for hummingbirds. This one, hardy to zone 4, 18 to 24 inches. So it'll make a nice statement, but not overly large. And now we have a scaevola called White Dove. Makes a great ground cover. It is an annual, but boy, it spreads nicely. And then if you want just a massive white, this would be great. Heat loving, drought tolerant. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with this scaevola. Then we have Sedum Midnight Velvet. This is part of the Rock and Grow Sedum collection. Rich dark purple leaves and then those reddish blooms on it. Hardy in zone 3 through 9. And then we have Silene Fire Dragon. So this comes in 5 colors. Scarlet, I think this is in order here. Scarlet, orange, white in the middle, salmon pink, and orange glow. And they're compact, hardy to zone or in zones 5 through 8. And then we have Sorghum Black Falcon. Have you ever tried sorghum? You could actually pop it and eat it pretty much like popcorn. It's just like a corn. It's an annual. It's a lot shorter. Height is just 2 to 3 feet. So we're going to be trying that one this year. This is Snapdragon Double Shot Orange Bicolor. This is an AES winner, a national winner, and it is double flowers, and it's a nice medium height snapdragon. So, there's the tall snapdragons for cut flowers, the short ones for bedding plants. This is a medium height one. And actually in the series, there's about 4 different colors. This was the only one entered into the AES trial. So orange bicolor is the AES winner. And now we have a couple sunflowers, and we love sunflowers. We've got a semi-dwarf orange mahogany bicolor. So you can see that bicolor showing up here where it's the mahogany burgundy just outside that flower center. This is called Summer Lovin', and this one is a taller sunflower, whereas orange mahogany bicolor, it says semi-dwarf, so that indicates that it's going to be a shorter one, only 3 feet tall. And then we've got this Sunflower Desire Red. So that is a red sunflower. It too is dwarf. So that's great. If you don't have room for the tall sunflowers or don't want them towering over everything else, you definitely have some dwarf varieties to choose from. And then you can get even smaller with Smiley Gold. There's a whole series of dwarf compact sunflowers for containers, which I love. It adds this ray of sunshine, right? It'll make you smile, just like it says, Smiley Gold. And for those of you interested in cut flowers, here is some stock. It's called Giant Imperial Mix. And as you can see, there are 3 or 4 colors in here, 24 to 36 inches. If you've got a cutting garden, you need stock in there. Now we're going back to edibles, and we've got a few tomatoes. Rambler is a nice determinate slicing tomato. We Americans love our hamburgers with a slice of tomato on. This plant is widely adaptable. What the breeders are doing is like, okay, we want something that grows everywhere in the United States. So that's what they were working for on Rambler. And then we've got this Gondwana Rose. This one, they're both only 36 inches tall. So they're not the indeterminate plants that you're going to have to stake. A cage will be fine on these, but these have that nice rose black coloration that is really popular with tomatoes now. And then we've got some smaller tomatoes. So as you can see, this Tiny Temptations, this is orange and grows great in containers, huge yield from a tiny little plant. And then going over here, it's a small cherry, but on a big plant. So it's 5 to 6 feet vines. But again, with 5 to 6 feet vines, you can tell that you're going to get a high yielding harvest from there on these nice trusses. And then we've got this one, which is our AAS winner. It's called Zenzai, and this is a nice paste tomato, especially suited for Midwest gardeners. For all the diseases we have to deal with in the Midwest, this has a really good disease-resistant package. And one of our newest AAS winners, this is called Verbena Sweetheart Kisses. Man, too bad this webinar wasn't 2 days ago. That would have been perfect. Makes a great ground cover. It has that really fine, airy foliage on it, and it has all these different shades of pink and rose and some almost white flowers there. And we got a perennial here, Veronica Seaside, hardy zones 3 through 8. And it's got so many very floriferous, very well branching, these purple blooms on it. Coastal friendly. So there you go for all of our friends on each coast who are lucky enough to live on the coast and have some sandy soil. This one would grow well for you. And Vinca Soiree Flamenco Salsa Red. This one just makes me want to dance, but look at those flower petals. They just look like a bunch of celebration, very vibrantly colored. They call it a frilly fashion show. I love that. And Vitex Queen Bee. So long-lasting blooms on this. It'll be 5 to 6 feet tall. I can see that the pollinators would just swarm all over this, and it's hardy in zones 6 through 9. And now we have a watermelon golden honey, yellow colored flesh. If you haven't had yellow watermelon, please try some. It is so delicious, so sweet. This one has the typical longer vines, like it says under 12 inches tall, but it does spread. It spreads 12 feet. That didn't get in here. Sorry about that. Golden honey watermelon with 20 to 30 pound fruit. So this is a traditional watermelon, except it's yellow instead of red inside. Okay, now we can move on. There's 2 mixes here. There's a monarch butterfly mix. So this is really nice that some of our retail members are putting together mixes. It kind of takes the work out of it. And if you're wanting to do that chaos gardening, cottage gardening, just get your mix and spread them out there, and you're going to have a nice assortment of flowers for monarchs with this one. And then with this mix, you have nice blooming flowers for both hummingbirds and butterflies. And then we've got some zinnias. Actually, this is the last of our new varieties. And one is a double, one is a single. It's called Belize. So in the Belize series, you have 5 different colors of double-flowered zinnias and 5 different colors of single-flowered zinnias. So again, I keep saying there's something for everyone. So every time I do this, these are some of the most commonly asked questions. Where to buy? Go to the NGB website, look in the new plants area, and if we have links, if the breeders or the members have provided links, it will be there. There is also a where to buy page on our website that's called Shop Our Members. Look there and you're going to be able to find the majority of these. Look at your favorite independent garden retailer, go to the mass market retailer. These are widely available. Zone hardiness, I tried to put that on each one. So hopefully anything that was not an annual, I put the zone on for you. For more details, again, go to ngb.org to the new plants page. And that was pretty much it. Let's see here. I think I saw 1 or 2 questions, or maybe it's, something got answered already. But thank you, everybody, for attending. We hopefully have inspired you to try some new things in your garden, and we wish you a very successful gardening season. Thank you.